Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now onto the latest news, a warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! It's the kind of whisper that starts in the shadows of the stadium. Corridors passed quietly from staff to insiders before it reaches the pubs around Celtic Park, and then explodes like wildfire across Glasgow. Brendan Rodgers, the man who returned to Celtic with unfinished business, could be on his way out. You heard that right. There's a storm of chatter growing louder by the day that suggests Rodgers' second stint at Paradise might be coming to an abrupt, even unexpected end. Now, before you panic or throw your pint in disbelief, let's be clear, nothing's official yet. But if you follow the ebb and flow of football rumors in this city, you'll know they don't start without a spark. And this one's beginning to look like a blaze. Sources close to Lennoxtown are hinting at a shift in tone, a coolness in Rodgers' demeanor, and murmurs that the club's hierarchy might already be weighing up options. Not for if he goes, but when. And that brings us to the truly sensational. Part of this whisper, the name being linked as his replacement, isn't just big, it's seismic. Erik Ten Hag. Yes, that Ten Hag. Strap yourselves in. Now let's be real. We're not saying Ten Hag has booked a flat in the West End or started learning the words to You'll Never Walk Alone just yet. But let's not pretend that Celtic don't think big or that the Dutchman's name is surfacing by accident. Manchester United have had their turbulence, and with Ten Hag's future hanging by a thread at Old Trafford, there's a growing belief among well-placed voices that he could be tempted by a new challenge, one away from the Premier League pressure cooker. And what better landing spot than Celtic A Club, steeped in history, bathed in European nights, and offering the chance to lead a side in the Champions League without the same suffocating intensity he's endured down south. Celtic, despite Scotland's critics, remain a massive name in world football. And if there's a chance, even a sliver, that they could swoop in for a coach of Ten Hag's caliber, you better believe they'll go for it. The question is, are they already making those moves behind closed doors? And does Rodgers already know the writings on the wall? There's no denying that Rodgers' second tenure has had its moments, highs and lows, trophies and tedium. But some insiders claim the board is quietly disappointed with the European campaigns. It's not about domestic dominance anymore. That's expected. The real litmus test for any Celtic manager in 2025 is Europe. And when you look at Rodgers' recent European record, it hasn't exactly set pulses racing. Early exits, tactical naivety, and that sense, you know the one, that the squad isn't progressing on the continental stage. For a club of Celtic's ambition, that's a problem. And Ten Hag, well, love him or loathe his Manchester United spell, he's got European pedigree. Ajax's fairy tale run to the Champions League semi-finals in 2019 still lingers in football memory. Fluid football, high pressing, and tactical sophistication. That's the kind of manager Celtic fans dream about. The one who can take us beyond the group stages, make us believe again on those crisp European nights. So while Rodgers hasn't been sacked, and while no one's hanging his jacket on the whispers grow louder, and the idea of Ten Hag in the Parkhead dugout is beginning to feel real. But let's dive deeper. Why would Ten Hag even consider a move to Celtic? Some would call it a step down. From United to Scotland, but that's thinking too small. Ten Hag's reputation has taken a hit in England, sure, but imagine this. He comes to Glasgow reboots. His image dominates domestically and leads a club into the Champions League knockouts. He'd be worshipped. He'd have the city eating out of his hands and his stock would soar. That's what Celtic offers. Not just a job, but a platform. A launch pad. And let's not forget, it wouldn't be the first time a top manager used Glasgow as a springboard back into the elite. The club gives managers something different: time control, adoration. And with the right backing from the board, which many insiders claim Celtic are prepared to offer for the right manager, it could be the perfect storm. Ten Hag isn't just another name in the rumor mill. His style, his profile, his need for redemption, it all fits. And you have to ask, is someone somewhere already making that phone call? Rodgers, to his credit, hasn't flinched in press conferences. He's calm, polished, professional. But those who know Brendan well say there's a change. A guarded tone, a sense of distance. He's been here before, remember? Linked with Arsenal, Leicester, Newcastle, he knows how to handle speculation. But even he must be aware of the pressure building. The fans, while respectful, are beginning to grumble. Results alone won't cut it anymore. They want ambition, evolution, Europe. And with Rangers breathing down our necks, the margin for error is thinner than ever. If the board feels Rodgers is taking his team as far as he can, then that someone like Ten Hag is available. Can they afford not to act? That's the burning question. It's not about loyalty, it's about legacy. And right now, there's a sense that a change might be brewing. Not out of crisis, but opportunity. Ten Hag's availability is a temptation few boards could resist. And if Celtic want to make a statement, this is how you do it. Let's not forget the financials. Ten Hag won't come cheap, but neither is failure. European failure costs millions in prize money exposure, even transfers. Celtic have cash. The Frimpong selling windfall. Steady ticket sales and Champions League revenue give the club more financial muscle than people think. And if you want to lure a big-name manager, you need to show you mean business. Word around the corridors of Celtic Park is that Dermot Desmond isn't just watching, he's getting restless. He didn't back Rodgers to simply win trebles. He wants nights under the lights that mean something. And Ten Hag with his European blueprint offers just that. So could we see Celtic make one of the boldest managerial moves in modern times? The kind of appointment that reverberates beyond the UK. It would take courage, conviction. But stranger things have happened in football. And when those whispers get this loud in Glasgow, you know something's up. You just don't know what yet. So before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any. Details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans are already talking. Social media is buzzing with theories. Reddit threads, fan forums, and pub debates are filled with one question. Is Ten Hag really a possibility? Some are skeptical naturally. They say he's too big, too expensive, too English football focused. But others point out the signs his frosty relationship with the United board, the lack of public backing, the media silence. And when you add that to Rodgers' current trajectory, the rumor doesn't feel quite so far-fetched. It feels plausible. And in football, that's all it takes. One agent, call one off the Echo chat, and suddenly the pieces fall into place. The same fans who once scoffed at the idea of Rodgers returning were singing his name weeks later. So don't be too quick to dismiss this one. There's something brewing, and if Ten Hag is even remotely interested, you'd expect movement soon. Preseason isn't far off. If Celtic are going to act, they'll act fast. And if they do, get ready for a new era. One that could change everything. The players aren't deaf either. Behind the scenes, you can sense something shifting, training. Sessions feel sharper, more intense. Is it pressure from above? Is Rodgers trying to prove a point? Or is the squad itself aware that changes might be coming? Either way, there's tension. Not toxic, not yet, but tangible. And that's always the first sign. When managers start looking over their shoulder. When players whisper in corners, that's how it begins. The Rodgers project isn't in flames. Let's be fair. But it's flickering. And when that happens, when stability feels uncertain, clubs prepare, quietly, professionally, but decisively. And who's to say that those preparations don't include calls to Erik Ten Hag's representatives? He's a free man. No compensation, no Premier League wrangling, just ambition. That's the kind of profile that gets boardrooms excited. That's the kind of name fans can rally behind. And if it does happen, it won't just be a managerial switch, it'll be a statement. Celtic aiming higher, Celtic thinking bigger, and perhaps Celtic entering a new golden age. What would Ten Hag bring? Philosophy, structure, identity. Ajax, he built a team that played with swagger, with purpose. Even at United, despite the chaos, there were glimpses. Big wins, cup finals. But the Premier League is unforgiving. At Celtic, he'd have the freedom to implement his vision. Time to mold the squad. Backing from a fan base starved of European success, but hungry for football with soul. Ten Hag is meticulous, demanding, visionary. And he's exactly the kind of coach who could turn Celtic into more than domestic champions. He could make them respected again in Europe. That's the dream. And it's not as distant as some think. Celtic don't need rebuilding. They need refining. A few smart signings, a tactical refresh, and a manager who believes. And in Ten Hag, you've got all three. It would be a gamble. Of course, but every revolution starts with one. And if you listen to the wind around Parkhead right now, you might just hear it whispering, change is coming. Of course, we've been here before. Big names, big rumors, nothing materializes, but this one feels different. There's a quiet confidence behind the speculation, a sense that things are moving, not loudly, not publicly, but definitely. The kind of movement that happens in boardrooms in London, hotels and phone calls that start with just hypothetically. We've seen Celtic do bold things before. Rodgers in 2016 was bold. Lennon's return was safe. Ange inspired. Now the club sits at another crossroads. Stick with the known to comfortable, or roll the dice for greatness. Ten Hag would be a gamble, no doubt. But if he lands, it could redefine what Celtic stands for in this era. The final piece of the puzzle timing. If this is going to happen, it needs to happen soon. Before preseason, before the qualifiers. So watch the news. Read between the lines. Because this rumor isn't just smoke. It might just be the start of something burning. And when Celtic moves, the whole football world watches. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.